Halo Sobat Kick-Off Indonesia, kembali lagi kita ke Kick-Off Vlog malam hari ini. Kita kedatangan tamu yang sangat spesial. Beliau adalah Coach Salva Valero Garcia, pelatih tim nasional Thailand U16, yang sekarang dia berada di Thailand. Kita tahu bahwa tim nasional Thailand dan pembinaan usia muda Thailand adalah salah satu yang terbaik di Asia Tenggara. Dan malam ini kita akan berdiskusi dengan Coach Salva tentang sepak bola usia muda di Thailand dan spesifiknya adalah tentang tim nasional Thailand. Good evening, Coach Salva.
Hello, my friend. How are you? Greetings from Thailand, from Bangkok.
Everything's fine. Hopefully you are fit and healthy.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm healthy here. The situation is not that bad, but the problem for me is that, as you know, I'm Spanish, and in Spain we have a tough situation. Mm-hmm. My family passed the coronavirus, the COVID. My parents, both of them, and my sister, they passed the coronavirus already. So I'm hope that everything will be fixed because they passed the situation. They are healthy now, so happy for that.
Okay, Salva, tonight we are going to discuss about youth football in Thailand in general, and also about your national team, youth national teams in specific. For the beginning, can you tell us a little bit the situations in youth football in Thailand, the youth national team structures, the academy structures, and etc.?
Yes. Yeah, basically, starting with the national teams, now we have the situation stopped because of this situation. We were about to organize a lot of tournaments for all the national teams, even with Nishino in the first team. As you know, we have the Japanese coach. Mm-hmm. We are connected. We all work together. We have a lot of meetings to update each other and to find a similar way to work. But now everything stopped in terms of the activities of the national teams. As you know, the under 23 and the main team are led by Nishino.
Okay.
He's the head coach of both teams. I control at the moment the under 19 and under 16, both teams, and we have a Thai coach who was my assistant before, taking care of under 14. This is the structure that we have. We control two teams. Each coach, let's say I control under 16, under 19, and then Nishino controls under 23 and the main team, because we want to keep the generations with the same idea.
Okay.
And that's why we follow the generations and we prepare the young generation. I did from under 14 to under 16, and now I took over the under 19s for this year 2020.
Okay, so that is for the national team, youth national team structures in Thailand. But how about the situations of the youth development in the clubs? Can you explain also a little bit there?
Yeah. Nowadays, as you know, I don't know if you read, but we have a Spanish technical director, Carles Romagosa. He used to work for Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona in the past. Mm-hmm. He came last year, July 2019, and he spent half a year analyzing well all the structure of the competitions here, the youth system, the professional system. So now we are designing a proper system of youth leagues for all the age groups. We have at the moment the under 19, under 17, under 15, and under 13 youth league.
Okay.
But now our idea is to create a 7-a-side youth league for under 10 and under 12. So prepare the young players to be ready and to have a proper competition. That will be the idea was to start at the end of this year and have a proper organization for all the youth leagues, because now the FA will control all the system for the youth leagues.
And all the age group that you have mentioned before, it's all attended by all the professional academy, or also there are some private one that also join the competitions?
Yes, some private one join the competition, but with the license of a club.
Okay.
You can only play in our youth league, in the Thailand Youth League, if you are part of one club that plays T1 to T4. So what
T1
they
to
do is
T4.
yes, yes. If you have an agreement, so you represent the T1 to T4 team, you can join the youth league. That's the system that we have.
Okay, but from the academy from T1 to T4 is all the clubs have obligations to attend the competitions, or?
Yes, yes. In our T1 to T4 we have different grade for the criteria from our Thai league. Our Thai league has some criteria, especially for the T1. They are very strict and they push a lot the clubs to have a proper academy, more than one or two teams, to have three teams with professional coaches, and that's developing a lot in this year since I arrived. I arrived in 2017 to Thailand, so already 3 years passed, and I see a lot of development in the youth system, a lot of development in the academies, a lot of foreigner coaches coming with a license, pro license, being the coaches in the academies, and I think the system is improving a lot, to be honest.
Okay, so how many clubs that join in the youth league? From T1 to T4, in approximately how many?
Yeah, approximately we have 6 groups of 10 teams per age group. Okay. What happens is that some clubs, they focus in, let's say, in the under 13 and under 19, and other clubs focus in under 15, under 17.
Okay.
The top clubs, they have all the system, but we don't expect all the clubs to have the whole system. You know, some clubs, they focus on some age groups, but that's what they do.
Okay. And if you say earlier that 6 group times 10 teams,
yes,
they play home and away, or how do you make it?
Yes, there's a group stage first where they play against each other. So let's say we have 10 teams per group. They play 9 matches home, nine home matches, 9 away matches.
Okay.
And then the top 2, they go to the final stage, is a national stage. They play in 1 week or 10 days. They play a small group stage of 4 teams, so they qualify for the semifinals.
Okay, so at least the minimum they will play 18 games, right?
Exactly.
18 games, and then they will have a playoff for the 2 teams that going to the next round.
Yes.
Okay.
As well, they have some cups as well. So this is the youth league, but they have apart some cups, like for example Chan Cup. They organize the under 13. King Power, they organize the under 15. Co Cup, they organize the under 19. So apart from the youth league, they have some cups.
Okay, Salva, the next thing I want to ask now is more related with the national team, the youth national team of Thailand. Can you explain to us what is your vision with the Thailand national teams, and also what is the game model of the Thailand youth national teams in general?
Okay, yeah. First of all, as I told you before, I've been working here for 3 years. Okay, the first year was to adapt myself to the new culture. I was coming from Europe, from Spain. I was a coach in many academies in Barcelona, and I came here, so I had to adapt. I had to learn which was the way of the Thai players, the Thai coaches, the Thai staffs, whatever. So I spent the first year to adapt myself. I had the AFF and AFC qualifiers that year. We succeed. We didn't win the AFF, but we lost the finals in the penalties, which is a good result in my opinion. We qualified the under 16 for the AFC under 16 final round. And then what I did is I went back and I focused with the under 14 because we thought that was the generation of the future. So I spent with them the last couple of years. We played the last AFF. We lost the final against Malaysia, and we went to the qualifiers of the AFC in Myanmar in the last September. We couldn't qualify because we had in the same group South Korea. We won two games and we lost against South Korea. Playing a good game, but against a top team like South Korea, we could win and we didn't qualify. So now I got the chance to control the under 19 and the under 16 at the same time. I think what my vision, my particular vision, is to prepare this new generation of players, the bunch of players between 19 and 16, and as well control the youth under 14, under 12, because my assistant is taking care of that, to create a very strong generation for the future. Now, Nishino is controlling from under 23 and the main team. They are already preparing the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Okay. So my vision is for 2026, this bunch of players under 19, under 16 at the moment will be on the best moment of their careers, and as well I help the first team, so I know the players, and my idea is to focus for that World Cup in 2026.
Okay. You mentioned that the first year you come is when you came to Thailand is your adaptation years. Yes. But based on your analysis, when you first came to the Thailand, what is your impression of the Thailand's youth players?
I think the Thai young players, they are skillful. They are comparing to the region where we are in Southeast Asia, even in Asia. We can compete to anyone. We are in that level. We have technical players. We have quick players. We have smart players. But what we lack is this tactical culture. Okay. That if I compare to Europe, this tactical culture that they have. So my idea is to focus a lot of effort on the tactical side. I spend 99% of my time on the trainings to improve their tactical abilities, because I think the room to improve is quite big. And I'm trying to do a lot of video sessions, try to explain them the concept very clear in order to let them understand exactly what I want on the tactical side. I think that's what we need to improve, especially I would say on the defensive side, because if you compare our teams to Vietnam, for example, to Malaysia, I realized that they defensively they are stronger. On the ball, we will say we are one of the top teams in Southeast Asia, but defensively our teams must improve, and I'm focused on improving our defensive side.
It's more on the individual defending, or more in the group or team defending?
I think it's a cultural thing, first of all. The Thai players, they don't actually like to defend. They like be on the ball, but when they are out of the ball, they don't like that situation. So first of all, is that culture. And we have a individual problem. They don't delay properly, but I think that the individual defending is quite similar to this region, this kind of player.
Yes.
Don't delay, go.
Like to
rush into the ball.
Very aggressive without any counting and everything.
Exactly, making a lot of stupid faults in a situation that is not need, but because they don't know which is the tactical idea in that space. And of course, as a group, this thing that I told you, the culture and the individual, is reflecting to the group organization. So I focus, let's say, 50 or 60% of my tactical concepts on improving the defensive side, and we concede much less goals in comparison to the other Thailand national teams in the past. And as well, I give them some tactical ideas on the offensive side to guide them to have a proper organization, like I will explain you later on the game plan.
Okay, so based on the analysis of the Thai young players, and how do you develop your game model? What kind of game model you choose to develop in order to fit the players?
We have two kinds of game model. Let's say we have the Southeast Asian game model against teams that we think that we can dominate with the ball. And we have another kind of game model when we face, let's say, the top Asian teams, because as you know, we have the AFF and we have the AFC. So when we go to play and to compete AFC against South Korea, for example, we adapt our game model to that reality, to that scenario. But when we play AFF, that is 70% of our matches against the Southeast Asia teams like Timor-Leste, Singapore, Myanmar, Cambodia, even against Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam, that are the top three apart from Thailand. We try to dominate on the ball. We try to be the main team of the match, to have the ball possession, and we have our very clear game plan for that scenario. But we work to prepare the other matches as well, because at the end are crucial matches when we play AFC.
I believe you have already prepared some presentation regarding on it. Can you share it?
Sure. Yes, I will brief. As you know, we have 4 moments of the game.
Yes.
Okay, we have the offensive transition, we have the defensive transition, and the both offensive organization and defensive organization. We focused, as I told you before, in this part more than 50%, including one of our main abilities, which is the high pressing. All my teams, I try to explain clearly the high pressing, because we are a team that is strong when we do the high pressing. And as well to introduce both transitions to the main organization. Let me explain. For example, when we talk about the contra-pressing, which is, in my opinion, in my idea of football, is the defensive transition, what happens when you lose the ball, I try to introduce it on our offensive. Let's say, working how to switch side to side, which is one of the principles in the offensive organization, and one of the concepts that I believe is helping us on creating goal chances, on creating danger to the opponents. When we are working this offensive transition, I introduce principles of this defensive transition to complement the principles that we are working. And for example, let's say we are playing against Myanmar. We know that we will have ball possession 70 or 80%. I prepare the match, giving my team basically offensive organization principles that we will see later, which are these principles. And I include defensive transition on the game plan, on the training topics for that match. But when we talk about defensive organization, it means that we expect to be sometime defending. For example, if we play against a tough team like
you are less with the ball,
yes, we will not have this 70 or 80% that we have been against Myanmar, for example. We play against Indonesia, Malaysia. We will have, let's say, 50%, 60% maximum. We have to prepare the 4 topics, and we try to balance. So I adapt my game model to what is happening on the game. I analyze the opponent. I imagine in my head with some clips we prepared, which is the game plan specific for that match, and then I design using 4 phases. Okay, which episode? I think these phases and these episodes are happening always in football. Let's say
yes.
For every team, for every game model, and for every kind of tactical organization that we want to give to our team. Okay, that's my idea about football. So let's say we have phase, we have episode, which is which situation of the game is happening for that phase. For example, offensive organization against high pressing. If we identify that the opponent is giving high pressing, we have medium block. If the opponent is waiting us in a medium block, and then the stable attack in the final third. We have to give the players a clear ideas of what is in each episode, the concepts that we want to work. I didn't put in this presentation the concept because are the concepts that I believe and that I keep for my team and for myself. But here I share with you these episodes because I think all coaches must
Yeah.
think about these episodes and develop, let's say, in a column here on the right, inside of this episode, the build up against high pressing, for example, which are our concepts in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this document, you should use it, adding here the concepts that you have for each episode. This is my idea of how I organize the game model. That's why I wanted to explain with this easy presentation how I organize the topics and how I decide for each training session which are the episode that will happen in the match. For example,
Okay.
against South Korea. No, I put the example before. We were thinking that we had to focus on the defensive organization. We work a lot the high pressing because we wanted to bother them on the restart of the game, and we work the episode of the counter attack. We put the details here that is not appearing, but later we will talk about, and then we focus on these two phases for that match.
Now, proceeding to the next stages, when you already have this game model, can you give us some example
Yes.
how to applicate this game model in one specific situations?
For sure. I go, and I will use a match that all the Indonesian fans will be a bit sad to remember because it was the semifinals of the AFF. The match was Thailand 2, Indonesia 0. Last AFF under 16 in Chonburi.
Yes.
We played against the team of Bimasaki, and we designed, but we knew them very well because that was the semifinal. So we had 5 matches to analyze them.
Okay.
We did an analyze. We will use this presentation to explain the main idea, and then we will go for the clips.
Okay. Good. You can start to share.
So the red team is Indonesia.
Yes.
The blue team is Thailand. Okay, we will use the colors that later in the videos we will see because that day we use these colors. Okay, so what we identified is that both attacking midfielders of Indonesia, Marcelino was playing on the left, Valeron was playing on the right, two very, very good players. We identified that they liked to go to press our center backs staying on this space. So we have to, first of all, identify that the green spaces, the yellow spaces are the spaces between the defensive line and the midfielders line. So the sides of the holding midfielder. Indonesia was playing all the tournament 4-1-4-1.
Yeah,
okay,
4-1-4-1.
What I identified. And what we identified was that either the yellow space or the red space was empty because Valeron was jumping from yellow to red, and Marcelino was jumping from yellow to red. The question was when did they jump? So what I told my players is, guys, try to create doubts on these two advanced midfielders of Indonesia. When we start and we build up from our defensive line, they will because they are players that like to go to press, they will come to the red space. When they come to the red space, that we have to attract them, then there is the moment for our advanced midfielders to occupy these spaces, because we created a lot of goal chances doing this movement. Okay, I told my advanced midfielders, if you see that they are in the yellow space, try to create doubts to them and drop down, and then they have to decide. If they stay in the yellow space, then you are alone, so you can play combination. If they jump with you, for example, we have sometimes it happens. They
follow.
If they follow, it means that this space is free. So the time will be when we find our center back, try to go on the back and then be a free player like this and then attack the goal.
Okay, and that was the plan.
Yes.
But what was happening in the game?
Yeah, what was happened was this. You will see that Marcelino and Valeron, first of all, they decided to protect the zone because they said, okay, first of all, let's be safe, let's protect our back. But during the game, okay, when we did this kind of passes on the defensive line, they felt, oh, guys, let's go to press. And then was when the distance between the Indonesian defenders and the advanced midfielders there was a gap, so we created a lot of chances finding these free players on the pockets. Okay, and the second way to move them, to attract them, let's say, to the red space, was by coming here. First of all, they received a loan, and then they said, oh, I have to go to press. During this time, then we are creating a space here. I have 5 clips, so I will show 5 of them so we can...
Yes.
We can talk about it. Okay, we get the ball. Now, as we said, now this is offensive organization, the face, and the episode is against a medium block. Okay, you see...
This one is the one with the ball is the lateral?
Yeah. Fullback.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Fullback. Yeah, fullback. Right fullback.
Okay, here you can appreciate my advanced midfielder because of, first of all, we made this pass, fullback to midfielder, as we said, passing here to attract. Marcelino is attracted by the ball and creates a big gap on our advanced midfielder. You see, he comes, Marcelino attracted by the ball, this player will be alone when we switch. The midfielder now can come, holding midfielder. But when the ball arrives here, he has to go. So this player will be alone, you will see. Side to side. Now Valeron is coming to track back, but Marcelino cannot come back.
Yes.
We have the winger on width, and this was the first goal.
Okay. So the attacking midfield on the ball far side is empty. It's free.
Yes. But because first of all we played with the midfielder. If we don't do this pass, if we try to connect with him straight away, don't do this because the midfielder can protect this space. Now the midfielder come to do the cover, so he's not free. You see, this player is 3-4 meters. If this pass comes,
yes, of course.
That's why now he has to go to the other side. He's tired. He's the second half right now. He cannot arrive to both sides. So, bam, my midfielder can turn, so we can switch and we can create the goal. Okay, try to identify the 2 advanced midfielder. If you see the movement, you will understand what I spoke in the in the folder. In the whiteboard. The same idea. Now he's going on the back because he wants to receive in between the lines. Again, the same idea.
Okay.
When we switch the ball, this player cannot arrive. So my midfielder is attacking the pocket. Now, did you appreciate the movement of this player?
Yes.
He's coming because he see that Valeron is defending him. He coming to attract him.
Yeah, drop.
To create this space. Now Valeron is doing so. Okay, you have a space again. So try to play with the advanced midfielder of Indonesia try to create a space by or coming, like now they come, they are one-on-one, and this player cannot come to cover all this space. That's why we want to track them and then call and then go. Now this player, okay, he identifies that there is a space, so he go to the pocket because he's alone. If this pass can, if we can connect this pass, we kill because we go straight to the defensive line. Okay, we did it, but then Valero is a good player, can track back, no problem. We switch again, so we will find the advantage on the other side. This is what you explained me before.
Yes.
When they come, who is attacking the pockets? This is the solution I told them. Now you see this player, advanced midfielder. He's in the pockets. He identifies that Valero is already
following him.
His line, so he identifies a space. But now Valero track back. So he says, okay, I go back, I attract Valero. The ball comes to me, I attract Valero, and then I will kill this pocket. Another very clear example. The pass is not good at the end, but this shows that the players understood quite well the game plan.
Yes.
Okay, now they are attracting the individual markings. He's going on the back to let Marcelino decide if he comes or not. The same with Valero. Now Valero, what I told you, he likes to press.
Yes.
He's a player that he wants to recover the ball because he knows on the ball he's better player than out of the ball. So he goes to press. But then what happens? On his back, he's alone. He's super alone. Because he's in the pockets, can turn. If we arrive here, we must create a goal chance. If this player, instead of doing this pass the ball to him, he's totally alone.
Yes. Create numerical superiority to our center back.
Yes. That was the key that day. To do passes.
Yes.
To attract the two midfielders, the two advanced midfielders. If we did it, we arrived to the box. Almost every time we create goal chance. When we did passes on the defensive line, because we knew that after 2 or 3 passes, Valero and Marcelino will come. And this is what I told you before.
Yes.
What is happening at the end? We lose the ball. Now is a defensive transition.
Yes, transitions.
Contra pressing.
Try to press.
Pressing, so you cannot counter attack. I will explain this with. Now he came to create a space, attract the midfielders. Now big gap between the lines. This player identifies, okay, Marcelino is already there. I'm alone between the lines. The midfielder came to do the cover to our left advanced midfielder, but couldn't cover all this space. So he was alone. And as we said, to involve another phase, which is the defensive transition, by doing this intense high pressing after losing the ball. That was that day. The game plan. You saw with these examples that worked. We were dominating the game. We created many chances, and I was quite happy with the team performance, especially because they followed the plan and we played a good match.
But in that tournament, you don't have much days to prepare, right? For example, for this game, do you have any training?
We did one training session. I explained the ideas on the. Normally, what I do is the day before the match. We do the recovery because it's a after match. We
Mm-hmm.
play, rest, play.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is rest, and then I introduce the game plan
Mm-hmm.
already in the recovery training.
Mm-hmm.
I do one drill.
So you do like unopposed things and drills with some shadows like that?
Some shadows, and I tell them, okay, come here. The shadow will come. Sometimes I put some stuffs to be the
Yeah,
opposite
as a reference, yeah.
because they know, okay, to the same behavior of Valeron and Marcelino, for example. I told them, you are Marcelino, you are Valeron. If you come, Marcelino and Valeron will come. Then the space is there. And then the day of the match,
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, I do a game with a ball, with handball, like
Okay.
a basketball game, but
Yeah, with the tactics, yeah.
with a tactical, yeah, because I don't want them to play football, but they can pass the ball with the hands. It's like an activation, and then I review some ideas there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a very great explanation, Salva, regarding on your game model and also the applications in a real specific situations. Now I'm going to proceed again regarding on your organizations. How is your relations with the academy, the club academy? How do you communicate and how do you develop the training methodology together with the academy club? Because of course you don't train every day with your national team players, right?
Not at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would like to train with them more often, but the reality is that we have strong clubs here. It's not like in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Here our clubs are powerful and they don't let us train because I understand they have a strong youth league, so it's normal that they focus. We train maybe 10 or 14 days before the competition, but during the year we don't train much, maybe 3 or 4 training camps in one year.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I'm very close with the academy managers, with the coaches, and the most important thing of my job is the scouting. What I do is every week I go to scout matches of the youth league. Even some days I go for the trainings with the clubs, to be close with the coaches, to be close with the players, to correct some things with the clubs. I try to do individual advisory of the key players of my team when they are in the clubs. I send them some clips. I keep in contact with the players during the year because I think it's a very important aspect to keep improving them, even though they are not with us on the trainings. Even now in the quarantine, I prepare some specific plan for some key players of my team. And yeah, basically that. I try to be very close with the clubs. I try to travel a lot to scout the players around and to scout the youth competitions. Every weekend I try to see, we have 1 or 2 or 3 clubs where we have the bunch of the group of players, so I try to go there often and to follow up them.
Okay, Salva, one last question. It's it's like very popular questions when you are working in youth development. What is your opinion regarding on the individual development within the team development itself? Because in youth football, it's more important to create the product, to go to the first team or to go to the senior national team when you are working in the national team. But also, as you know, in this culture, you need to win also.
Definitely.
So what is your opinion and what is your how do you work on that?
Okay. Yeah, my opinion is that you have to help the players. No question about that. You must improve your players as a coach. That's your main target. By developing the player, by improving the players on the individual fundamentals, the team will improve automatically. So let's say, as a summary of, because it was a bit long explanation, try to help the players during the trainings, try to give them all the concepts, the individual concepts, the team concepts, the physical concepts, everything together, improve them on the training session. That's your gift to them and your responsibility, let's say, as a coach. But as you said, the second part, you must win, put the best players to play, because they will have experience with the club. if they are good players at the end, they will grow up and they will get minutes and time of playing with the club. But with the national team, put the first 11, try to do 2 or 3 substitutions, and try to win the matches.
So it's just like a normal professional game, eh?
Yes.
Because, but I know you are familiar with this, because sometimes we as a coach of young team, for example, we already feel that okay, this player will not gonna help me to win the next game, but we also feel that this player is the future,
Yes, it happens to me with a lot of players, but especially with one. Mm-hmm. Okay, one player is very short. They call him Messi Kong. Mm-hmm. Kong is a nickname, and they call him like Messi Kong because he's very short, left-footed, skillful, and I believe that he has future. So what I try is I'm very clear with him. I told him, you are a late developer. Mm-hmm. Now, if I put you to play, you cannot help the team as the others because you are a late developer. But don't worry, because you will always come with me if you keep doing like this, like that, like that. I told him, you have to follow this, blah, blah, blah. Keep improving, be responsible on the trainings, be a good guy with the teammates, whatever, help the team. And then I put all my efforts to improve him, exactly the same I do with the key players of the team.
Okay, Salva. Again, thank you very much for the great explanation. It's been an honor to have you here in the vlog.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. I hope to see you very soon. I was planning to go to Indonesia this year many times, and actually we had a friendly match that we couldn't play there. I was very excited to go to Indonesia. I never been there, and everyone.
You have home here. You just contact me anytime you want.
Thank you.
Okay. And I wish you luck also for your career with the Thai national teams.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
All the best. Okay.
Ya, buat Sobat Kickoff Indonesia, kita telah mengikuti satu vlog yang sangat menarik, mendapatkan pengalaman dari negara tetangga kita, Thailand, yang juga sedang ingin membangun sepak bolanya. Tonton terus vlog Kickoff Indonesia dengan tamu-tamu berikutnya yang juga pastinya selalu menarik. Pantau terus info kepelatihan sepak bola terbaru di kickoffindonesia.com, dan jangan lupa bahwa permainan sepak bola tidak akan dimulai tanpa kick off.